Alright, so first I want to start by saying Kala Lal, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakah Kodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of James Strip Stone. Salutation to you all came out there pushing the truth in sincerity to a full elect. Shalom. This is Brother Kanan from James, Jamaica. Here's another lesson, and in this lesson, I just want to highlight oh some weird reason I should say, Jake think to feel that the so-called white man bought their friendship, because clearly that must be the case. You know what I mean? You have this term that goes by money can't buy friend, but apparently when the so-called white man bought you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, I guess that's what he did, according to how our people view things. You know what I mean? They might not blatantly put it out and say it like that, but that's how they view life and how they deal with things now, according to those history or view what is taking place now. That's exactly how it sounds. You know what I mean? We're just calling it out like it is. So when you look at it this way, how sweet does it sound? You know what I mean? So-called white man bought your friendship in slavery. Was that a friendly act? Was that an act of love and care for another, like you people like to say, the human race? Because for some reason you people tend to think that the so-called white man is the most loving nation on the earth, and he's always out there looking and trying to assist other nations or other people. For some reason you people tend to think that some good fortune and some good love or good act of will or God sent situation took place, and now this man that have created so much genocide, so much murders on the earth is now the earth defender, the defender of the human race, and protecting the human race from the galaxy. This is how you people look at it, yo. No, there's a lot of videos that have been deleted, you know what I mean? So even these type of lessons basically needful to come back out, because we've gone over this already, and everybody should know by now that the people, the so-called slaves that came over here in the transatlantic slave trade, you know what I mean, those people are the real Israelites. You know what I mean, you Negroes, as I said, Latinos, Native Americans, yeah, you are the true Israelites. So the Israelites were already over here, from before the so-called African slave trade, that you people want to put it. You know what I mean? Yeah, those are the 10 tribes, if you want to put it that way, or 9.5 tribes that were basically carried over here, or basically they sailed come over here because they knew this. All right, but let me just go into this part of it. So let me just give you the basics. So the basic is found in Deuteronomy 28. You know what I mean? And you can start from you. But before you even go to Deuteronomy 28, this was always prophecy. Well, this is a prophecy, Deuteronomy 28, that Yahweh shall even quote in Luke. You know what I mean? So let's just start from the prophecy. This is Deuteronomy 28, and we're gonna start from. Let's do it from basic. Yeah, basic. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the and it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Lord thy God, your God, will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Alright, so if you listen to what your God say and obey your God, then your God, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, your God, predominantly your God, will set you above all nations. This means that you must speak to a specific nation and exclude certain nation. This is Deuteronomy, which means he's speaking to Moses and the people them that were led by Moses. Alright? Let's continue. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. So you listen, you get blessing. You obey the laws and the statutes and commandments that was given to Moses. You're gonna be blessed. You disobey these things, let's see what the outcome will be. So let's jump to verse 15, which is what it says. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, again your God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And you can read through those curses and easily fit them to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, let's jump to two main curses that we're talking about. We're going to the soul part, right? All right, so this is what it says first. All right, it says 64. Let's jump into to these two main points. And the Lord shall scatter thee, all right, scatter thee among all people. So you know, you look at this is the soul part, right? Let's look. All right, so we get it here. Alright, and the Lord shall scatter thee among this picture that you see here is gonna be important. You see they coming through the Atlantic Ocean. Alright, that's the slave trade route from the west coast of Africa, as I can see, to the Americas. North America, Middle America, South America, which is why this is the Americas. Alright? You also see they call it Spanish America. Alright, so this is called the Americas, so called New World. Alright? So it says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, from the west coast of Africa to the Americas. One end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Alright? So basics, right? So we're gonna jump to 68 just to get a little more in depth into this trans this transition from one end of the earth to the next, this diaspora. That's what we are called, diaspora. Alright, which means scatter, which goes back to what the Bible is saying. We're gonna be scattered. We are the scattered people, really, if you think about it. I know that other nations, but who got scattered this way than us? Right? Let's go to the 68, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more. So we had to use ships to come over here. And Egypt doesn't mean literally a place in Africa. Right? Egypt is talking about we're going into captivity again, into bondage. Right? We're going into bondage, this time by ship. Right? So we came over here in slavery by what? Ships. Cargo slave ships. Alright? Says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies. So the money can't buy friend. You are sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, not for friends. And no man shall buy you, meaning what? No man shall redeem you. Because in order to free a slave, you had to buy that slave freedom. But none of our so-called heroes, none of our so-called patriotic fellow fighters but then that fought in slavery managed to free us. We are still slaves today. Right? So they didn't free us, they didn't buy our slavery, but free us or fight for our slavery. You know who's gonna do that? The man you ignorantly call Yahweh, Jesus, sorry. The man that you ignorantly call Jesus, his name is Yahweh. He is the Redeemer. That's what Redeemer means. Buy back. He bought us back. right? His blood covers the nation of Israel. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? So let's continue. All right? So we were sold unto our enemies. Right? We were sold unto our enemies. Right? Let's look at this. So let's continue. This is Joel 3 and verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Now let's pause. So let's go. We were sold. Our cast, they have cast lots, and have given a boy for an harlot. So some of the things that they would have sold our people for were harlots, or them cast lots. So who for take that one here, you know what I mean? I sold a girl for wine. So even harlots and wine were also prices on the prince and the kings of Israel, basically. You know what I mean? Alright, so we're basically told to put place for nothing. Right? And it says, who did this? Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine. Alright, so you see these people basically having them action block on the screen. Alright, let's go here. Let's go back to the picture we had. Alright. So, look, you see, these are the so-called Hamites over here in Africa. We were amongst them, but we were more for most part in the west coast of Africa. Yes, we had other Israelites dwelling amongst those Hamites in different sections, like I just said. You know what I mean? But these people know that they are different from us, and they would have captured us and sold us to the so-called white man, which is the Grecian. He boldly accept that he is, and he knows this. So we know the history. We were sold to so-called white man, right? So let's continue. He said, because you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the children also of Judah and children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. Right? So we know it for a fact that a lot of the persons that came over here in the slave trade are Judites. I just said that. From West Coast Africa coming over here, they are Judites. You know what I mean? And who was amongst the Judites, or who was associated with the Judites? Benjamin. And you had some of the Levites that went back with them. So we know that what? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi came over here in the transatlantic slave trade. Alright? And you have monuments or places or ports that would have been named of these tribes, even in the west coast of America today. And alright, I think there's one that called the Port of Judah or something like that. Could look it back up again, just do not give you misinformation, but you can also look it up. You know what I mean? Alright, so these are facts that we're bringing to you. Right? Sold, not for friendship, but to be to our enemy, to be slaves. Alright? Now we're going to get into some more. Let's continue. That you might remove them far from their borders. Right? Right. Even though we were in the west coast of Africa, our real borders are in Israel. But we're now further to the west. Further from our borders. From one end of the earth to the next. Right? Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. Right, so the Most High is going to turn back this around. So we're going to have slaves. They're going to be sold to us. They're going to be, our slaves. Right? Alright, so let's go back to the whole enemy thing. Right? We're gonna also get into some other precepts, right? So you can see clearly now that Jake today must have got some form of misinformation about what took place in slavery, because no, they are looking at these persons or people or the descendants of these people as if they are friends. You know what I mean? Or if we are friends with these people, or if these people are now the savior of the earth and now they're doing goodwill. Now you see what happened to 80? Remember, I said something about the Levites. So the person that went into 80 are Levites. They're Israelites. You know what I mean? They've been fighting against the so-called white man for freedom, revolution, right? They've been. They're still suffering. They're still under class, and now look what happened to the president. The president basically refused to follow suit, refused that these are the way in which he wants to lead this country. Yeah, he was removed, and after being removed, you see the things that he didn't want being put in place shortly, like shortly. These things are not hiding. You know what I mean? We can't speak in depth on it because you know our YouTube got to work, but these things are not in hiding. We've been saying these things all along, right? But for some reasons, you people still thought that your friend bought you, and money can buy friend, all right? And for some reason, that now leads you to think that you guys are still friends. It's very ignorant to have that mindset. All right, let's continue. Wow, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 8. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Right? In the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend will depart. Never. Let's talk about that part a little. You know what I mean? All right. So, everything is good. Oh, you're running in our Olympics. You're playing sports. You're a part of our team. We put you on our national team. If you're not a part of a nation that is like that, you know what I'm saying, right? So they include into certain things. Oh yes, fastest man alive. Usain Bolt. Give you a medal around the neck. Yeah, puppets, right? Our friends see that they might give a medal. Put on events for us, because of course we're entertainers. I'm in the salt of the earth. But that's what you are, and only what you are. You know what I'm saying? But when it's time for adversity and danger, guess what? Many times these men are the same person that created those dangers, created those situations to take your life, those traps, those pits. Right? It says, never trust thine enemy. These men were your enemy from back then. They are your enemy now, and forevermore will be your enemy. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. Look again. Haiti. Look again. Just look across the world, yo. No change. Set him not, verse 12, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. That's what the North America, that's what the Native Americans did. You know what I mean? They brought, accept them, teach them certain things, you know what I mean? And then what? They kill them, you know what I mean? And then celebrate it every year. Thanksgiving, you know what I mean? Set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember that my words, and be pricked therewith. Yeah, too late. I remember when it's too late when you already get overthrown. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? Hmm. For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit, and that's what we're saying. The entire makeup and build up of a so-called white man is to destroy the nation of Israel. He vowed that in his heart when he made that vow, has Esau, which Esau is the father of the Edomites, which you so-called Caucasians, you are the biblical Edomites. Alright? Alright. If he find opportunity, sorry, he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Two mouth, two side, serpent. Right? If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. 80. 80. Right? He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. Alright? So it goes to show you, this goes to show you what I'm trying to say. These characteristics are being done, are shown by a specific group of people or a nation of people. Right? Let me take this recent now. This is Baruch 3 and verse 8. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, still in the Americas, North America, Middle America, Spanish America, British, let's say, South America. And we not only just went to those places, also all over the world. Alright? And these people that were over here were also brought over to the other side. Alright? Says, where they were scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, light bill, water bill, tax, you name it. And by the way, tax is a sign to show that you are a slave. Slaves pay tax. Slaves pay tax and tributes. Alright, let's continue. Alright, and to be subject to payment according to all the iniquities of our fathers which depart from the Lord our God. Hear, Israel, the commandments of life, and give ear to understand. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happen it, Israel? How happen it, Israel? Yes, Israel, you Negroes, right? You people, that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead, that thou art counted with them that go down into the grave. How happen it, yo? Because you sin against Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, that we read in Deuteronomy. If we kept the laws would have been blessed. We broke the laws and the curse came. So we are cursed in this era and location, being slaves and being even messed up in the brain to think that these men that brought us over here and their son have any good intention for us. So I guess our friend that bought us, I guess we're seeing what our friends are here to do. You know what I mean? And I guess yeah, that narrative that money can't buy friend is false because clearly so-called white man is our friend and he bought us, right? So with that, I want to just wrap up and say, yo, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, which Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, which as I said, Yahweh is the name of the person, the man you call God, or not man, but the power you call God, which God and power is same, right? You know what I mean, right? And Yahweh Shai is the son of that power, you know what I mean? The man you call Jesus, or uh, Joshua, but some person call him. You, you know the names. All those names are fake, right? His name is Yahushua. You know what I mean? So I also want to give the advance to the apostles and elders of James Stone and Tiakim out there. Shalom.